My gardening obsession started when my dad bought a small garden. We grew watermelons and tomatoes, which turned out pretty well. The watermelons grew 2 baseball-sized fruits, which ended up tasting horrible. Here they are. And we got a decent yield on tomatoes for our little space it was grown in. We could have gotten a lot more yield, but 12-year-old me decided to fill the other half with flowers. I mean, at least they look good. 3 years later, and now it's the March of 2025. I'm tired of freezing my limbs off from going fishing in 9-degree weather. Yes, that's true. And I'm starting to get that ambition for the growing season. Of course, it looks like a mess at the moment, but trust the process. Oh yeah, and the lawn looks tapped in. Here's a cool sport variegated leaf that my strawberry pushed out. So then in April, I decided that my fig tree was ugly and I chopped off 80% of its branches. I'm just kidding, I actually just didn't like how slow it was growing. The shape of the tree was non-existent and I couldn't get to half the fruit because there was a section that was 12 feet tall.
So it was about, 100 figs.
Boom, it's mid-May now, and I just finished planting my garden space. I decided that planting 1 million plants next to each other was a good idea. I'll come to regret that, but now everything is nice, lush, and healthy. If you're wondering why everything's green, it's because I used grass as mulch. It worked quite well, and I didn't have to water very often. However, it led to some complications when the plants grew. Here I tried to direct sow some lettuce seeds. I'm gonna be dead serious, this is the most pathetic harvest I've ever seen, but hey. You know what, it doesn't look too bad. So I'm gonna get some Caesar dressing and I'll try. Boom, now it's late May, early June. Everything's doubled or tripled in size and it's looking great. This is about the time my motivation for the garden was at its peak and when I was dedicating far too much time into it. Truthfully, this isn't what makes me happy at the end of the day. Sure, it's a great hobby and obviously a passion of mine, but I want to be with my family and make great memories throughout the summer. Not spend 4 hours a day in my backyard every day. That was my biggest mistake in my opinion when I was doing this. I have other goals in mind such as this YouTube channel that I believe will bring greater value. So I wanted to at least show my garden journey over months before I set out to do other things. I'm going to work on cutting down the time that I spend in the garden, because frankly, I'm burnt out. I think another part in this was that I just didn't get a good harvest. I neglected to harvest the bok choy shown here, and I let them all bolt. While I guess that's fine because it looked good, I also just got tired from basically spending all that time for nothing. But I think that's enough of me ranting in this video. And it's early to mid-June. They doubled in size again. I don't even know how it's possible. My Napa cabbage during this time was doing the best, when there weren't a lot of pests that was destroying them later in the season. I had so much plant mass in these beds that they acted as a living mulch. Everything was free of disease somehow, and it looked great. This was a form of chaos planting, and it was working out well for the moment. But I don't think I should plant this many brassicas next to each other. This is what I meant when I said that I failed to harvest them. They were all bolting and I had to remove them later down the line because they were spreading disease.
Wiped out my life. Why? I'm going to school. You just gotta help me.
Bob Joe III has returned.